Welcome to Long Story Short on the Nearing Nerdvana channel. This is episode number 35. So we'll just keep on rocking them. And real quick, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. I want to thank Cover Price. So make sure you're using the code Nirvana14 for the 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. And then you can also use the code Nirvana over at Bird City Comics on their website, or if you're signed up for the app. So make sure you're signed up for those text alerts. Are you sneaking an icy in there, Joe?
Yeah, dude. I'm supposed to be on a diet, bro. Shut up. Shut up, Aaron.
I don't know what you're talking about. It looks like water to me.
That's all it is, H2O.
Yeah. But let's go in reverse order.
Sugar and corn syrup and a little bit of flavor.
Hey, man, come on, dude.
It's mostly water. It's mostly water.
Yeah, it was water-based, right? So, but how's it been going, Joe?
Good, man. Good. Just pressing books. I shipped out a couple submissions to CGC today.
Yeah, I still got.
And then I checked my PO box. I had 3 big ass boxes. So,
well, I better get in line because I know I was supposed to pass you off books, but you ended up having to mail books.
Hey, bro, you sent me books. You're in front of the line, bro.
So any of his other customers that are watching, I don't know what he's talking about.
No, I get them out pretty fast. So
yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I'm not worried about it. How's it going, Carter?
Hey, what's up? How we doing?
Doing good. Any haul videos coming up or anything like that?
Well, I did one over the weekend, and there's like a dollar sale on Saturday, and then I'm going to probably like a small show, small little con on Sunday. So we'll see how we do.
Nice. Oh man, we're getting super chats right off the bat. I'll let Longshort do his introduction real quick, and then I will go. I'm going to get my new guitar ready because I haven't played on it yet.
Thank you for tuning in. We got a fun show tonight, and I want to say real quickly, like the comments that we get from everyone are super kind. Thank you for tuning in and watching the show. We read all of them. Anybody who reaches out directly, thanks so much. It means the world to us. Real quick, they call me Bruce. A $50 super chat, dude. You are crazy. You are crazy. You're out of your mind. Thank you so much, Kal-El. Man, thank you so much for the super chat. It means the world to us. Completely unnecessary, but we couldn't be more grateful. And Aaron is going to rock out. And Joe,
what's up, Bruce?
Yeah, I figured I mean, with a $50 super chat from They Call Me Bruce, I might as well bust out my new guitar that I haven't got to try out yet.
Here we go. The new guitar.
Yeah.
A new guitar? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Yeah. It's a 7-string. It's so I can help my band start writing songs and stuff like that. Like I have a bass for the tuning that we use, but like it's easier for me to write stuff on guitar than bass.
What's up, Ben? Ben S is in the chat, man. What's up, Ben? I got your books.
Dude, hop on, man. We've been asking you to be on the show. Stein, hop on the show, man. If
send him a link, man.
Yeah, I will send Ben the link also as well. So as soon as I finish rocking out. So forgive me for playing bad because I haven't played on this yet, so I don't know what it's gonna sound like.
Bring it. I can't wait. I am super chat.
There you go, Ben. Yeah. I am super chat. Money. Thank you, Houston, Texas.
I will definitely have to mess around with that some more before I bring this back onto the show. But let me send a link to Ben to see if he is available to join us. And then we will get right into the show.
All right. Listen, people are posting videos of them violating, the disclaimer. Listen, this is not a buy list. This is not a list to make you rich. So please don't go out and buy these goddamn books. Please. Particularly the first one we're going to talk about tonight. By all means, that is off limits to everybody on the show tonight. But we're just here to talk about some cool comics. We're not specking on shit. We're just talking about some comic books that are probably not on everybody's radar. That's it. All right.
Cool.
All right. This book is ridiculous. Let me start out of the gate. So I wanted to start the show talking about ASM 300 homages. And do artists even want to do these anymore? And I'm not picking on this one in particular, although maybe I am a little bit. This thing looks like it was put together in, 30 minutes, maybe, start to finish. How many of these can the market absorb, really? It seems to me maybe infinity. I don't know. But then, then I struggle. People are saying, McFarlane must be going crazy because there are so many of these books out there. And then I start to wonder to myself, well, if you look at the history of ASM homages, it's not so clear. So we can go to the original, right, where it all started. Aaron and I were talking before we kicked off. Is this the most iconic cover of all time? Comic cover of all time? Certainly the most homaged cover of all time. It's a great piece of work. It is a massively graded book.
Plenty of copies
on the census. I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of comics to have graded. I'm curious if there's any books that have more. I didn't go out and take a look, but this has got to be near the absolute max for any comic book ever graded, which is not taking anything away from this book. When I was a kid, I could never afford this book. I asked for it for Christmas every goddamn year. My parents would never buy it for me. My wife finally bought me a copy, probably in the early 2000s, when I first got my first copy of this book. But whatever you want to say about it, it is a beautiful piece of art. The interesting thing is that I think McFarlane knew out of the gate that this was a book that was going to be homage, because I think it was 2 weeks later before he dropped his first homage cover of this book. And I could have my timing off on this, so please, if anybody has the exact timing on this, correct me. I'm not saying this is the ultimate timeline, because it's very difficult to piece together. But I believe this book, the next one, The Incredible Hulk 344, came out a couple of weeks after ASM 300, which was by all accounts the first homage to ASM 300. And
if it's not 300, it's at least 301, because it doesn't do the whole numbering patterns in the background.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult with these Marvel books with the dates. Now, if it wasn't in this book, right, it was he definitely homaged ASM 300. The next issue with 301, I mean, that is, without debate. He said, we're going to do this cover again. So the fact that the market has gone nuts homaging this book, and people are saying McFarlane's got to be losing his mind. Well, you know what? He's part of the problem here, because he was doing it before anybody. So anyways, I don't know. I thought I had to rant on this one a little bit.
I do know a bit history of between 300 and 301. So I don't remember which one's the original cover, but 301 was supposed to be a variant for 300. But
interesting.
But Marvel didn't want to do that at that time, which is kind of hard to believe nowadays. But they decided not to do an alternate cover and just use it for the next issue. So I think that would have been a big change of history in comics too, if this was one of the first I guess modern variants or whatever. or to have for a book to have multiple covers, because back then it was like almost unheard of to do something like that, right?
Yeah. There were no variants at that point in time, really.
Yeah.
A couple of people are saying in here that Spider-Man 1 has a lot, 100%. That has got to be a close second in the
AF-15
over homage game, but it feels to me, and I could be wrong, I didn't go out and count, so it feels to me that ASM 300 is by far the leader, but Spider-Man 1 is right there. And McFarlane also homaged that cover, not as quickly, right? It was Spider-Man number 13 where he first homaged that cover, but it didn't take him too long before he and that's a very cool book in and of itself, right? In the black suit.
Yeah.
That book is caught a lot of people's eye back in the day.
And then someone mentioned it in the chat, like before we even started, like Spawn 8 as well. I would consider that into the homage of Spider-Man 1.
Yep.
As well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. Like, I feel like these cycles come and go, but I feel like people are so burnt out on ASM 300s, it's about to go the other way, and people are going to start, chasing them all down again. So that's usually how the cycles go. At the ultimate point of burnout, it starts to become the chase game again. So I don't know. We'll see. But it seems like we get one every single week.
Well, do you think retailers are also doing those types of homages? Because there are people that are completionists that are just, oh, I need that part of my set now.
I would say this. I was ranting about these homages on IG, and somebody said to me, "It's like, but if one of your favorite characters had one, wouldn't you grab it for your collection?" And I think it's a fairly good argument. Like, if you really loved a particular character and they did an homage of one of these books, you'd probably go out and grab it. So I think that's probably pretty safe. I don't know. I mean, how many completionists can really be in this game, given how goddamn many of them are? I mean, I suppose there's some, but is it enough to clear out whatever 4,000 copies that a lot of these guys produced for these books? I don't know, but I mean, it's certainly part of it. And and when Ant was on the show, he was saying, listen, homages move, right? In the retailer game, they continue to move. So this one must be selling. If people continue to do it over and over and over again, it must continue to move. So, all the power to you. All the power to you. But you would think Burnout would eventually
I think this one's an homage too.
Yeah, that was when Aaron...
Yeah,
that's the newsstand show, man.
Nice. Yeah, because that's Spawn 24, right, Joe?
No, this one's the Mexican version.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
A Mexican version newsstand.
Whatever that means.
Really, we got some newsstands.
Or they just like copied the image, right? From a newsstand copy or something like that.
So listen, I'm not necessarily hating on this. It is what it is. But it's
I think someone's echoing.
Who is this? At me?
But okay, yeah, I guess it is correct. Yeah. Sorry.
Everybody's hating on it. People are saying that McFarlane is losing his mind over this. I'm thinking to myself, well, he started it, so he was the first guy that started marching these books. So,
well, I do want to comment on the first one. I'm surprised they don't have that little like McFarlane bubble or after McFarlane.
I mean, after myself.
Honestly,
after
I just
me.
saw that and I'm thinking to myself, like, it looks like they rushed this thing out as quickly as they possibly could.
Oh, just to make it in time for FOC to submit the art
FOC
and
for
all
the
that.
second print. Listen, I don't have love or hate for Spider-Boy. Who the fuck knows what this character does? I don't care, really, to be honest with you. I don't mind when people get excited about a new character coming in the market. It's not movie spec. And honestly, that stuff doesn't bother me at all. Like, spend what you want on comics. If you think it's a $50 book, spend $50. If you don't, then don't. But I was just saying that people rushed out to. It looks like whoever did that book was like, the retailer said, "Can you just do it for me? Like, I don't know who you are as an artist, but I need someone to put this together for me tomorrow."
Yeah.
What it feels like
Well,
to me.
I mean, my guess is also that like some of these artists can pump out like these homage covers really fast, like specifically this one, because you know you don't really have a background, right? Like
I mean,
you
I
have
would say
you
half
have
these
enough.
guys must have a template at this point where they just like add the new character to what they did, the 15 times before. But
Right, trade out or change out the trade, and then if you want to throw in the corner box or even the direct edition box or something like that, or put something in your own twist into it or whatever. But I mean, at the same time, like it's kind of like we've seen it done
yeah,
however many times, and then there's tons of these homages. Like even like Lady Death has done a bunch of them,
there's
and like where
countless.
so
I mean, I
like
think the best one for me, it was much more subtle. It was the Moon Knight. I forget the number, but the Moon Knight homage by Platt, I think, was one of the better ones for me because you don't necessarily see it immediately.
Right. And I've seen homage covers done before too, where it's a homage, but then it's not a quote unquote iconic book. So it takes you a while to even like kind of think back, well, what book is this homaging, or what movie poster or whatever. And so sometimes those can even go like over people's heads.
Hey, Cueva Comics, real quick, coming in with the super chat. Thank you so much. And I owe you one. And I just realized I owe you a payment for that book. So, but thank you so much. Super kind, and we couldn't appreciate it more.
Super chat. I don't even know where to start, Aaron. We got to rehearse, bro.
Yeah,
you're all over the place.
I need to work more on what I'm playing with this new 7-string. So it's starting me off. Adding another string. I've played 6-string all my life.
With the 6-string on my back.
Josh, what are you doing, man? Hop on the show.
He's on vacation. So.
Oh, he's on vacation. All right, all right. Well,
he's in Disney.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he's hanging out with the mouse.
All right, all good. All right, let's move on beyond this ASM 300 talk.
Right.
As I was doing work on that book, I came across this. I had never, ever seen this book before. This is a Varegi MoPOP variant, which is the Museum of Popular Culture. This book is a goddamn ghost. There were 4 copies on the census, all in 9.8. But this was really sold. This was sold at the Museum of Popular Culture, their store, which is, I suppose, technically a store variant, but not the kind of store variants people generally, think of. But I think this book is beautiful, and it's an absolute ghost. It's nowhere to be found.
I love that museum in Seattle. Like, if you've never been before, it's literally right next to the Space Needle, and like they always have something interesting going on there. Like especially in the area, there's a huge like Hendrix like section in the museum. They have like music setups so you can like learn how to play guitar. Like they have drum kits. Like it's pretty amazing. I know that Marvel had a special exhibit there probably like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and they had like original art. They had books from people's personal collections like shown it in there, just like showing the process, like what a museum would do. So yeah, I didn't even know that they had their own special variant for those.
I mean, it doesn't look like they produced a lot by any means, but they definitely had this one. And I've never been, but everybody raves about this place. I mean, and I've been to Seattle a few times, but I've got to get there next time I'm out that way. But yeah, I mean, this seems to be somewhat of an anomaly in terms of comics they produced. It's not like they're doing these every week. But this is one I've got my eye on now. I've never seen this thing.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
Well, and they even have a section for specifically just movies and stuff like that. Like one time I went, they had like a horror thing because it was like near. I think it was like right after Halloween, sometime in that time period, and then that was just cool. Like what did they had like like a costume from Michael Jackson's Thriller's video, like all kinds of interactive things. Like it's just amazing. Like, and then they even separated out to like science fiction stuff, fantasy. Like, yeah.
Yeah, man, sounds like an awesome spot. I need to get there next time I'm in Seattle, but
Yeah, I need to start hitting up Furtbird and be like, hey, can you find this book?
all right, what is next up? All right, so Deadpool Secret Wars #1. We're usually talking about issue #2, but here we're talking about issue #1. This is a Greg Horn variant, who is a friend of our friends at Bird City Comics. Stan Lee exclusives are books we spent a lot of time talking about on the show, but this is a really cool one with a very lifelike version of Stan the Man. What's interesting about this book there's 193 graded on the census, 156 are signed, which is crazy.
Well, and then I know that this book was sold a lot at conventions when Stan was signing at those cons. Yeah, and then there's a black and white version of this as well.
Yeah, a sketch version. Yeah, it's a sketch. Yeah, 100%. I don't know which one is more rare. I really couldn't find that, but it is featured the color one. It was easier to make out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's like a split thing or if it's like, you know, standard practices of like what 3,000, 1,000. But
yeah, for people who like to collect these Stan Lee exclusives, this is pretty cool.
Do you think a lot of these are dual signed, where it's like Stan Lee and Greg Horn, or even
maybe? I mean, my guess when I think of this, I just think about Stan, but could be for sure.
Yeah, especially if they're both at the same convention.
Yeah. But when I see these, I just think Stan. Honestly, when it comes to the signatures. All right, Warhammer Forge of War #5. So I think this is the first Artgerm cover. But please don't hold me to it. That's always a very difficult thing to verify completely, unless you hear it from the artist, and even then, sometimes they don't know.
As we found out before.
So yeah, this is Artgerm's first cover. Honestly, it doesn't scream his style at all. But for the completionists, and McClay might have this on his list. I didn't check that. I probably should have checked that out. If you don't know, Brian McClay has the master list of the creator firsts. So definitely check that out. We saw this go for $100 in 9.8 back in June of 2021. It's only 9 on the census, which is not a lot, and 4 of those are our signature series. So that's pretty interesting.
I'm seeing if I can find his list real quick. I don't have it saved in my Google Drive, but that's okay.
Seems to be a respectable seller. I mean, as far as it's going for what, $20 to $40 online.
Yeah, I mean, which seems like, that's a fairly, decent price for an artist as popular as Artgerm is.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't look like a typical Artgerm cover
far
either.
From it. Far from it.
So it's kind of cool to see like where they started, or even their early stuff, to what they're known for. Or it shows
I
their
think
kind
what
of
happens is that these guys just start looking for work, right? They're artists. they need to make some money, and then all of a sudden they hit with a style or a theme, and then that takes over, So, I think that's the case for a lot of these artists. But
Oh, so there can only be Vaughn is saying not G.I. Joe America's Elite.
which issue?
Well,
Is that issue 0? I think he could be talking about G.I. Joe Cobra.
let us know in the chat.
I'm looking at the CBCS copy, and on the label it says First Artgerm Professional Artwork.
For this Warhammer?
For this issue,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. All right.
Maybe he didn't go pro when he did that other book.
Before he started his studio.
Right.
All right, we had talked about, I believe it was last show, we talked about some trade paperbacks. It's an interesting area for me. It feels like it's wildly overlooked. So this is an interesting one. So this is, hey, Tony, what are you doing with the super chats, man?
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thank you, man. We really do appreciate it.
Good night, Lillian.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Okay, yeah, I won't play guitar because then I might get the kid too high.
Yeah, don't wake anybody up. We're
Yeah,
sing a lullaby. What's that from 3 Men and a Baby? What was that song? Thank you, Tony, man. We appreciate it. And hop on later if you want. So this is Batman Strange Apparitions, a trade paperback. It collects Batman 469 through 479. And there are about 6,500 copies of this produced, which is really low in terms of what they do for comics. And what I would say about trade paperbacks, particularly of this era, is that they're heavily read. Right, people weren't collecting these things to save them; they went out and read them. And so books like this in high grade are super rare and fun to collect. And I just feel like these kind of books are off the radar for most hunters. So I just want to start putting some of these out there.
And with 10 issues, that's got to be a thicker
It's
trade
got to be
paper.
a thick book. Yeah. No, I think you're right on, Ben. I started picking up on this when a lot of the omnibuses were going up in value because people were realizing the print run, but especially around this time, I mean, they printed a certain amount and that was it. And then they were out of print. So if you can find some of these rare, obscure titles, more often than not, they weren't printed like the way they're printed now. But especially like the early 90s, man, those things are low printed. So, I mean, 6,500 is not a lot.
No, it's super low for the most part.
I'm still always looking for those Buffy the Vampire Slayer trades, and I blame Nico every time I look at a store.
Yeah, there are a lot of good ones out there, and we're going to talk more about these in the future. If anybody has any trade paperbacks that they they know of that are tough to find, go for a lot of money, let us know. We'll feature them on the show. All right, all new Ghost Rider number 4. Felipe Smith, 1 in 15. I love these 1 in 15s by Marvel. 5 of 6 on the census. There are a lot of these all new Ghost Riders that are absolute ghosts. Who put this book up? Was anybody on the show tonight who suggested this one? Was it Tony?
It might have been Tony.
Yeah, so I mean, this book was not getting super high orders at the time, and I think we covered issue number 3 way back when, probably back on the Flipside days. But there are several of these books that are just nowhere to be found, genuine ghosts. But these are the kinds of books where if you're digging in $10 bins, at cons and things, they'll be sitting there and nobody will have grabbed them. So worth keeping an eye open for. I'm a big fan of these.
See,
You
I
ever
wasn't
come across
thinking
this, Carter?
passage. Oh, go ahead.
Carter, you ever come across this one at all?
Yeah, I had this book back in the day.
Any idea what you got it for? What you flipped it for?
Man, it was so long ago. I don't even remember. I should have held on to it, but you know.
What's it going for now?
I don't even know if there were that many out there, man.
So you
Man,
should
only
check
5
cover
or 6 on the
You
census.
should check cover price to see if they have this variant.
Yeah.
And yep.
Cover price will have your most recent verified sale.
Yep. So I mean, they'll give you raw sales data and also graded.
Yeah, better than Key Collector.
It's almost like a guest on Key Collector's part.
I don't
But
think
that's neither
Key
here nor
Collector
there.
prices are really updated all that frequently.
Yeah, I kind of like use their price guiding like kind of like Overstreet, like where they kind of just like kind of take an average or ballpark estimate, right?
It's a suggestion that may have no bearing on reality.
Yeah. Ooh, $25 to $50 a few months ago.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, if I'm seeing this book for that price, I'm grabbing it. Any of these 1 in 15s, but
yeah, I was gonna say with the red car in the background, it definitely reminds me of like Tom Selleck.
What about the girl in the background? I mean, what is she doing there exactly?
Hanging out. I don't know.
Just hanging out, bro.
She was hitching
I think
a ride,
he was
right?
talking shit about you. Right? She's instigating, bro. Are you talking about me? I heard him.
It originally started out as a Cruising USA cover, and then it turned out to be Ghost Rider.
All right, what else we got on the show tonight? Captain.
Oh, Lowrider.
This is a beautiful book. This is Captain America number 10. This is a Gerard Perel 1 in 15 variant. There are 1 of 3 on the census. This is a very difficult book to find. This is a Rembrandt homage. I forget the painting that he's homaging, but if you own this book, which I do, it is absolutely stunning. The way that he painted this art, absolutely beautiful. I think there might be a couple of these on eBay. Every once in a while, people don't know how rare this book is, and they let it go for cheap, $20-$30. But you rarely can find it for that much. But I've always been a big fan of this book. Anybody got this one?
Mm-mm.
Anybody seen this one? This is one of those books where sometimes it's hard to find pictures of it.
Carter's thinking in his memory bank.
I might have come across this book, but I don't think at the time it was really going for anything. So I was just like,
It doesn't go for crazy. It's just it's elusive as hell for whatever reason.
Yeah, I see one on eBay, and it's not that great of shape. You know what I mean? So
the black on this thing gets the shit kicked out of it. There's no question about it. I've had 2, and 1 might have been 9.6 worthy on a good day.
Yeah, it's funny because somebody bought one just right now.
There you go. Ignored the disclaimer and just got it for $15.
You saw that, right? Somebody bought it for $15. You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
It's like Red Hood had it in his cart, but Chad was faster.
There was one for $15 out there. Son of a bitch! I would have bought that. I paid way more.
Let me check the grade on it here.
Ooh, Rembrandt. That's a good call. I could see that, like the Night Watcher or something like that. All right, what do we have next?
All right, so this is another Perel variant. This is a 1 in 50, but a bit easier to come by. Classic homage, obviously. X-Men 141. 44. Yeah. This book's been homaged a gazillion times. I do like this one as well. This has not reached the level of ASM 300, but give it time. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's quite a few. You'd be surprised. My brother's a huge fan of Days of Future Past from the storyline, and he started going down that rabbit hole of collecting all the homage covers. And then when we were going around the cons, I was always finding them. I'm like, do you have this one? Do you have this one? So this is one that he doesn't have actually. That it's anytime we've found it, it's always been like slightly out of our price range that we want to spend on it.
Yeah, for 1 in 50, cons are probably going to be asking near ratio for this, or if not more.
Yeah, it's always been more. Like I found it at New York one time, or at Midtown, and it was like I could have bought a graded one cheaper.
3x ratio. I mean, if at Midtown,
yeah.
Yeah, but these are the kind of homages people like to chase down because there's enough of them that you can hunt them, but not so many it's obnoxious, right? It's sort of that it's that appropriate balance, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think Perel is wildly underrated, and this is just a cool book. He's done a number of really cool Captain America covers. We don't cover any more tonight, but he has several that are really cool. A few 1 in 15s, a few cover A's, a few other ratios, but he's done some really good work on this character.
I picked up this Perel, super cheap, man.
Oh yeah, the Captain Marvel,
yeah, for like $40, bro.
Great, wow.
Yeah, dude.
You're like, in shipping and grading fees alone, that's covered.
Bro, you want to give it to me? Give it to me, man. I'll take it.
These variants, this was during that time. Gosh, I want to say some sort of anniversary where they were all just doing homage variants.
I think it was like the 50th anniversary, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I know
go down the rabbit hole on these, man.
Oh gosh, yeah. From that time, there's also because I bought that book a couple months ago at a show at a convention, and then there was also there was a Punisher cover that was an homage to New Mutants '98.
Okay,
that was done around that time as well. And
is it also ratio?
Yeah, I believe maybe 1 in 50.
Okay. Yeah, the one I always like to try to find is that Thanos cover, where it's a Hastings variant and it's a 141 homage. So.
All right, Carter, were these your books?
Yeah. So we've got Marvel Knights 20th anniversary number 3. This is a 1 in 25 Jay Lee variant. Good looking negative space cover. Not too much I wanted to say about it. I just noticed that this book is kind of getting up there in price. It really wasn't, because when I came across this book, I'd seen it at a store for $15, and I left it there and came back like 6 months later. It was still there, and I'm just like, ugh, 15, ugh. So I finally bite the bullet, buy it, and this was like a long time ago.
I'm surprised you didn't take it to the counter and try to negotiate and be like, it's like, this was here last time I was here.
I'd never negotiate at a store.
No, really?
I know some people that do, but I don't. But
I feel like it's always easier to negotiate at a con versus like trying to negotiate at a store, unless you're wheeling and dealing and trying to trade something.
Mm-hmm.
At cons, I think these guys, for the most part, are looking to move inventory. Right? They're there to sell shit. At a store,
they don't mind sitting on it.
Yeah.
Not too much more I wanted to say about it, but I just thought it was an interesting cover to highlight.
So who did it better, Jay Lee or Nakayama?
I'll say. Well, I'll definitely say he does a better negative space than John Tyler Christopher. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can agree to that. I mean that Moon Knight was just like horrible, and then like when J. Scott Campbell did a negative space with the Rogue, like
The
that blew.
Rogue, yeah.
Yeah, that blew John Tyler Christopher's out of the water. Like, I mean, it definitely got attention again, but like, yeah,
And yeah, and here's the another
That's sick, man.
negative,
That's
another
badass.
negative space.
This one's
So-
better for me.
Yeah, for sure. So number 6, Marvel Knight 6, 20th anniversary. It's weird. I couldn't find too much info on it as far as print. I couldn't find a lot of info on the print run of 3, but I found the print run of this, and based on the print run, this might have 1,100 copies, and I'm talking might.
Well, what was the total print run you found on this? Like,
I want to say around 28,000.
yeah. I mean, most stores weren't reaching for 25 and 28,000 copies ordered. I mean, like I said, I always like to use the rough math of 2,000 stores ordering in any size. So
Yeah.
they probably weren't reaching for this one, but and you don't see this one very often out there in
Absolutely
the wild.
not. Yeah, this is one I can't remember how I got this. I don't know if I bought it online or not, but I just know I was eyeballing it for a long time, and I was just like, all right, let's. And I don't even remember how much I paid for it either. I just know I wanted it.
Cosmic One. If you ever go to Baltimore Comic Con, wait in Jay Lee's line and tell me how you feel about him being underappreciated.
What's going on?
His lines are just insane. Like, you know, he's like one of those. It's a hometown hero show. Like Ask Joe, he saw his Jay Lee's line. It was like, you know, from Artist Alley, it went all the way like to probably like the entrance of the con. Was how long his line was.
That's amazing.
And, yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's been in it for. You know what? I actually can kind of say he might be underappreciated just because he's been in it for as long as I've been collecting comics.
Okay,
which is like 30 years, and it just doesn't. It just doesn't feel like.
He gets enough appreciation.
Yeah, man.
As someone that's been in the industry that long. I mean, but I feel like an artist always has, like, even though they've been in it for a long time, like there's always like one cover for them that like really like sets them off like into the stratosphere, right? Where it just like where they're getting all kinds of attentions from like all the different industry leaders, all that. So I don't know if he's had that cover yet. He probably has. It's just probably slipping my mind.
And I like this cover a lot just because it's a Century cover, and he is the first artist to do the Century.
Oh yeah, and then he had that alias,
Artie Rosen.
Yep.
He called him, you know, because that whole game they played with that book, right?
Yeah,
He's a character from the Silver Age, and it was or Golden Age. It was Artie Rosen is the artist who did that one in. Was that a 1 in 25 for that one?
I just know it's a limited cover. They called it a limited cover back then.
Yeah, it was a ratio for sure. I think it was a 1 in 25, but
yeah,
if anybody knows for sure, correct me on that. But yeah, that Century cover is badass. Where it's the Golden Age or the Silver Age style.
Yep.
All right. Oh, Hex Wives #1 by one of our favorites on the show, Jenny Frizen. We saw a 9.8 sell for this just last month for $21. So congrats to anybody who bought that. Below grading.
Congrats, Joe.
11 9/8, 12 total on the census, but just a really cool book. Joe, this was yours, I think.
Yeah, so I was digging, and I liked the cover, and I didn't put it together that it was Jenny Friesen. I said, "Oh, that looks pretty cool because of the color scheme, the orange and what is that? Like greenish, baby bluish kind of like you really don't see those colors put together too many times. And then when I got home, I was saying, who did the art on this, right? It has all on Miracle and Dolfo on it, and then come to find out it's Jenny Friesen. So I went digging, and so they this is the cover of the trade paperback. The cover was so good, and and
this is a variant.
Yes, it's
and the trade paperback.
Yeah. So that usually for trades they do the best cover, or they do like a cover that they haven't used for a run. So I just think it's so different. It's so cool for Jenny. It's like one of my favorites now. So I tried to get it on the list last week, got it on the list this week, but I'm gonna send this out. I gotta like this one's high grade, so it looks like a 9.8.
Yeah,
feels like a 9.8.
When you're digging in those dollar bins and you just pull this, like, what is this? And you go home, you're feeling happy about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looked expensive, so I picked it up. That's
man. It's a good policy just to grab these.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like it might be worth something. Buy it.
Yeah. And then I like that Stepford Life look too, as well. Like, she's got the martini, smoking a cigarette, like just the style of the dress, pearl necklace, all that. And then
the hex tattoo on her wrist is kind of badass.
Yeah.
It's so different though, man. I wonder if Laura has this. I got to hit her up. Did you know this one is out there? And I bet you the trade might be one to pick up too. I can't imagine them printing a whole shitload of Hex Wives trade paperbacks. So I don't even know if it came out in hardcover. So
it's a DC Vertigo book too. So
yeah. So I don't even know what the print run on the number ones, let alone the variant. So it can't be much.
I
didn't
the
hear
variant when I looked was just an open order cover B, but I can't know for sure. But that's what it looked like to me.
I wonder if this was released like to be like a kind of like a competitor to Lady Killer.
Yeah, it's got a lot of that same vibe, right?
Totally.
So, and of course, Mad Men being out at that time, right? Mad Men, that whole kind of period, the 1960s kind of feel to it. I don't know.
All right, Carter, this is all you, brother, I think.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, Batgirl. Number 31. This was during the time of those Batman 66 variant. So this is a Mike Allred cover featuring Yvonne Craig's version of Batgirl. I could have swore this book went for something, but I don't think so. And I remember when I bought this at the time, it was kind of hard to find, but I don't know anymore. I just like the cover.
No, it's weird. This book used to be damn tough to find, but I think for whatever reason now it's somewhat plentiful. Either people have just posted it up for sale, or there were a bunch that found the market. But this book was much harder because if you look back, this was way back in 2017. You saw 9.8 go for $150, but I think these things are all over eBay at this point.
Damn, gosh, I remember even before that there was a cover of Batwoman number 31 that was all red variant, and that one I remember that one being really hot and really expensive, and then as the years went by, it just kind of not worth anything, and it's really not that great of a cover either. But I think this cover is very underrated.
I mean, Allred, people love Allred, and some of these 66 variants are genuine ghosts. So only one on eBay. Okay, all right, that's good to know, Ben. Thank you.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm wondering if a lot of Batgirl books like kind of took like a dive as soon as like people heard like this movie's being canceled, like, and all that, and just like the hype kind of died down, or like because like it didn't even get a chance to like really build up, right? Like we knew a movie was coming, and then it just kind of like died in the waters, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But she'll be back. Let's see what James Gunn does with her.
I think they're going to see like
character
what he
not
does
to do
with,
something with. I mean,
yeah. They're probably going to see what he does with Batman and Robin and stuff like that, to build up on that.
all right, ladies.
Yes.
Gauntlet number
Come on.
2. J. Scott Campbell variant limited 2,500. Joe, go for it, man.
All right, so I picked this up at my buddy's shop, and he let me have it for $5. And don't get mad at me, bro. Like, he goes, "Hey," I walk in. He goes, "Hey, man, there's some." He had bought a collection or something, so I'm digging through it, and man, I smell Campbell's, bro. And I pulled it, and I legitimately did not have this one, and I was like, holy shit, 2001, you know. So right away, it needs to be pressed, so it wasn't like high grade. It will be by tomorrow when I put it in the press. But he also did a sketch in the back too, so I had an extra Campbell sticker. You know,
Nice.
I bugged him. Jay Scott. Did I tell you that, Aaron? Like,
Yeah,
I asked
yeah.
them, "Hey, can I have a roll of stickers?" And they were like, "We don't do that." And I was like, "Okay, well, you ain't gotta get mad about it, you fucking asshole." But
How do you decide which to put on the front and the back? I don't quite understand how he decided which one, which sketch to put on which side.
I don't know, man. I like the front.
Yeah.
But
and just so you know, also there's also prints of this, like where it's the full wraparound is like all in one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just to give you a heads up on that.
You know,
I didn't
usually
know
when they're
that.
selling the prints, it means the book sold out. People couldn't get them, so they they started schlepping the prints.
So I'm gonna have to send this off to get graded, dude. This is usually I don't like his sketches because I always like the colors and stuff, but this one's growing on me, man. I really like this cover. So thank you, Steve. Most Wanted Comics. Shout out. Love you, bro.
Nice.
So we saw this book sell for $200 in 9.8 back in April of 2022. So that's pretty respectable.
Yeah.
Guess you're finding it for $5, Joe. So well done.
Yeah, man. Well, that's my boy, dude. He takes care of me. I got to press some books for him too. So
Yeah. Whenever I was looking up what title this was, like there was a website that was selling it, and they were asking like $75 for like a very fine near mint copy or something like that.
bro, you're gonna get me killed, bro.
I mean, I didn't say it sold for that price.
Oh, all right.
They were asking for it. Doesn't
You
mean
can
it's
ask
sold
whatever you want, right? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. They
I'm
could
gonna
ask
get a phone call. Hey,
$200.
bro, you ripped me off.
I mean, they could be asking $200 for it, and it could just stay in that online store forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, dude. But it's solid
not
cover,
eBay.
man.
All right, so this is a book when I'm digging, I always dream of finding, and I never do. So this is the Maxx number 35. This is the final issue in the run from Sam Keith. This book goes for, a decent amount. Last 9.8 sold late last year for $252. There are 77 total graded copies on the census, which is really low. 36 and 9.8. Just a really tough book to find, and one that I always wish or hope that I find when I'm out there digging. Anybody have any luck with this one? Last issues were a thing, obviously, right? In the hobby.
Yeah.
I found one. Ben. Do you want me to send it to you, Ben?
No, you did not find it.
Yeah, I found it. Dude, come on, man. I got my honey holes, bro. I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah, this is the exact kind of book that Stein would definitely find. But he gets to travel the whole country, so he's at an unfair advantage to the rest of us. I just want to put that out there. He literally gets to travel all around the country and to stores virtually everywhere. So,
but my favorite's always like when he gets to when he visits your state, and like the area of like he's like, hey, what shop should I hit up? And you just give him a list of like places to go, and then he'll hit them up, and then like
still post stuff that you left behind, right?
Yeah. I mean, like so he visited Texas not too long ago, and then he was in the Austin area, and he's like, "What shop should I go to in Austin?" I'm like, "You got to go to this shop. You got to go to this one." And he's like, "Okay, I'll see if I can fit it into my schedule." And then because they have an impressive amount of back issues, like Joe from that Bedrock that we went to, imagine like double or triple that size.
Are you talking about Austin Books?
Yeah.
Oh
Austin
yeah, I've
Book.
been there. Yeah, that's fucking phenomenal, dude.
Yeah, and they keep it just as organized as what Bedrock does too, as well. Like, everything's separated out by volume, title. It's in alphabetical order. Like, you're not digging through like a generic letter A, and then where you start seeing like repeated issues or whatever like later. But I'll have to check my back issues of the Maxx if I have this or not.
I sent it to you. I sent it to you, Ben. This is where you can get it.
Oh man, thank you.
Nice.
All right, here's some cool Archies. Carter, these for all you, brother, I think.
Yeah. A while ago, I came across some Archies for $1, and I saw that. I really don't know too much about it. I was just like, it's a nice cover. So what is that? Archie number 6 from that 2015 series. And I figured,
listen, these cover C's are always worth grabbing, and particularly, with Betty or Veronica on them. I mean, you're not going to go wrong grabbing these things for cover or less.
For sure.
Oh, and Ollie's packs. We finally got a Ollie's in my area.
Oh, you finally got one, dude? Hey, dude, they got some
haven't-
heat over there today, man.
I still haven't been able to like really in that area. I still haven't really been able to like really shop through the store, but I need to make sure I make time to like look through there.
Heck yeah. Oh, and we have Archie number 14.
Yeah, that's a nice cover, man.
Yeah.
So this is the reintroduction of Cheryl Blossom in this. They say introducing Cheryl Blossom, but come on, she's been around a long time before this book came out.
Yeah, so this is basically her first appearance since that relaunch. So, good cover, and it's technically a variant, but
But so the next one though is the cover. This is one people like. Yeah, this is the cover C. So the cover C's on these.
definitely didn't see that one.
You would have bought it though, I'm sure you.
Oh,
would,
for
right?
sure. Yeah.
Cool cover. All right, and I think this is our last book. So this is Archie 601. So you may be thinking like, okay, Cad Bane, isn't that a Star Wars character? What does Archie and like Star Wars have anything to do with this? So there's 2 ads in this. As soon as you open up the book, it has a preview of Cad Bane in it, and then in the back, it also has an insert with a little tiny book that has Star Wars Clone Wars previews in it, and Cad Bane is in there as well. So I want to give a shout out to Topher, who covered this probably a while ago on like Comics First, on his articles and everything, or Comics True First. So
Dude, Bedrock had a stack of these, dude, but they only let me take one, man.
Yeah, and then because I was digging through back issues with Joe in Houston, and I was like, we got to look through this modern Archie section. And he's like, for what? I was like, for Cad Bane's first appearance in this Archie 601. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, all right, we found the book. Let's pop it out of the bag and like take a look.
I think I was yelling at Aaron. I said, Cad Bane, hey dude, bust out, give me a price guide, dude. Like, give me some numbers, bro. Because we had already been there like 3 fucking hours, bro. Just start looking these up, Aaron.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I always love picking up this because like most people will probably overlook it, like when looking for Star Wars stuff. Like, hey, make sure to check out your Archie section as well.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Especially the Dan Parent stuff, man. It's just
Yeah,
like-
all that stuff is blowing up big time.
Yeah.
But real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Topher. I assume most people watching the show know who he is, but he does the absolute best work on characters' true first appearances, unparalleled. I mean, nobody gets close to him. So if you don't know him, follow him on Instagram. His IG is Comic True Firsts or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's underscores in between.
Underscores in there, but he is he is the absolute best of uncovering when characters truly first appear. So any of you who don't know him, give him a follow. You won't regret it.
Yeah, and he does all kinds of coverage on I think he does like articles on CBSI, but he also has an amazing Instagram where he just covers all that stuff as well. Especially like if it's something fresh that he just like recently discovered.
Always something interesting he's posting. So
yeah,
do not miss it.
Well, and then the one thing that surprised me too was like when we were talking about this on Instagram, Nate caught the video that Joe made, and he didn't know about that. And like Nate's like one of the bigger Star Wars fans I know. Like he's like I didn't know that about Cad Bane. Like kind of having a preview in here that predates Darth Maul 2. So
it's the best when you catch fans by surprise on this kind of stuff. Like
yeah,
that's the best.
Yep. All right, that'll do it for us for today. Make sure you're liked and subscribed to the channel so you don't miss all the great content. Like tomorrow night, Nearing Nerdvana will be on. And then on Saturday we have the Saturday morning toy box. Monday we're watching cover lovers with the Team Nerd Herd. Tuesday one of our flagship shows with comic book women. Wednesday is Mondo Mail Call. Great shows on this channel 7 days a week now at this point. And then you're back here with us on Thursdays. Big shout out to our sponsors again over at Cover Price. Make sure you're using the code Nirvana14 for their 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. There you can find great data of what the most recent raw sale average is. You can also find graded prices as well. And then you can use the code Nirvana for a 15% discount over at Bird City Comics. And make sure you're signed up for their text line so you don't miss like their great trade paperback exclusive they dropped that was limited to 50 last week. I missed that, and I'm kind of kicking myself for missing that. But yep.
So next week, I'm off. I've got to be in England next week, so I'm not sure if we're going to do anything or not. But we'll be back the week after that. Hopefully, I can find some cool comics from over there, but it's not the same as digging in the U.S. So we'll see.
Oh, thank you so much, Stein, for the shout out.
Thanks, Ben.
Yep.
Hey, thanks, Stein. We really appreciate you watching, man. And anytime you want to be on the show, just let us know. We'd be honored.
And that also goes out to DeVoe as well. So let us know.
Hey, tell Ben he can add to our list too, man. You know.
Oh yeah. Anytime you want to contribute to the
Stein's
list,
got countless books he can add. So
yeah,
and he's contributed many times in the past. Stein and I have talked, and ideas from him have been on the show before. So absolutely.
And that's an open invite to for people to contribute to our list. Like hit up any of us on IG.
Yeah, drop us ideas. We will share them. If we miss one, it just means that you get us too early in the week. I start to pull this together toward Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if there's books you think are noteworthy, let us know, and we're happy to add them. So and DeVoe, not only can he be on the show, he promised he would be on the show. So if you're watching, man, like you owe us an appearance.
Yep. I mean, yeah, we want to try to catch you before con season gets too busy. So, and then if we're up to it next week, I know you're taking off. We might do a pickup show again.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because we haven't done that in a while, and I'm sure Joe and I have plenty of goodies to show off.
Yeah.
Sounds like Mercenot's going to be digging through dollar sales, and so I'm sure he'll pick up some goodies.
Well, let me know. So if you do it, I may in the middle of the night log on from London if I found anything and share a couple of books with you half asleep. So
okay, we'll let you go first if you show up.
Yeah.
How about
Right.
that? Yeah.
Drinking some tea.
All right. So we'll catch you next week or next time.
Peace.
All right.
Ciao.
Real quick, Michael. This is a print. So okay.